you a prelude to what it's kind of like what Shakespeare used to do. It's like I'm telling you the story before you know the story,
right?
But I'm making you laugh while we do it.
The perfect compliment.
Yeah, and then the show just starts around her. It's very theatrical. How, like in the pilot, how like she's doing stand up, talking to the studio audience, and then all of a sudden a plane just comes in, the set moves.
This
and
kid
the plane
dreams, Joe. Because let me tell you something. Some shit he asked for. I was like, you shouldn't ask these people for all their money like that. So when the plane idea, he was like, oh, I got this idea because it was my idea to sit on the plane and have that uncomfortable conversation with the white woman. Well, I used to fly Southwest, right? So I was A+. So I would block my seat off going back to Indiana because it was full of white people. And I wanted to have conversation about real life, race, abortion, women, just start a conversation. So I would block my seat off, usually for a white man, because those are the ones that once you got them sitting down and they can't go nowhere, you can ride their ass like hard dick. And so, and I wouldn't do anything like racist. I would just start a casual conversation and let them know it's okay. I want to know your opinion on this, on race or whatever. And most time they would open up and talk to me. And when I gave him that idea, hey, we should have a conversation about this is what I do every week on fucking Southwest. He wrote it. But then he come up, he's like, I think the plane should open up. I said, don't ask these people for all their money. Stop that bullshit. He's like, no, I got this vision. And I'm like, this kid is going to get us kicked out of this motherfucking studio. And then, but the guy started building. He's like, we've never done anything like this. And then you seen how it ended up, which was so fucking beautiful. And then the next thing he asked for was, before that, he said, we standing at Lee Daniels house. Oh, what do you think about Debbie Allen directing the pilot? I said, bitch, I ain't even famous. Debbie Allen don't know who the fuck I am. You think she gonna come fucking direct something for all no name ass? And he was like, Lee asked Debbie Allen. Lee said, oh, I asked her. He sent it to her. She said, I'm gonna direct this fucking pilot. And I was like, keep asking, motherfucker.
No, it was so dope because we were looking at lists of directors and there was all these white guys and then women and it was good people, like really good people. But then I remember I was watching a rerun of A Different World and then Debbie Allen's name came across the screen. I was like, what about Debbie Allen? And then I remember, like, I didn't know what to think because the show is R-rated. It's so nasty. So, like, I didn't know if Debbie Allen was going to want to do.
It's not that R-rated. It's Christian.
I didn't know, Christian my ass. I didn't know if Debbie Allen was going to, like, want to be a part of it. But she read that script and she fell in love with it. And she just jumped on board and she added so much beauty to it. I have to tell, did you tell him about when you had dinner with Felicia Rashad? We sat down and had dinner with Felicia Rashad, who played Claire Huxtable.
Oh, yeah.
And can you imagine Miss Pat and Claire Huxtable across the table?
What was that?
She was like the wife we see. She was like, "You're so colorful." I said, "What the fuck is wrong with your sister, Debbie?" And so, Debbie is married to
Norm Nixon.
Yeah. He's like, "Tell about your daughter be eating that pussy." I said, "You want me to tell Norm?" Felicia Rashad laughed so hard, and then she just came alive. I was like, "Oh my God, she's human. She's beautiful." But it was like we was really scared. I was really scared to send Debbie this because Debbie is like the black princess of African Americans. We just fucking love. She's royalty, and so we flew to Atlanta. She was shooting a movie with
That was another backdoor situation.
Yeah, that was another
they
backdoor.
didn't want Debbie Allen.
I didn't say they.
What? She was like they we're not saying who, but they were like, she hasn't directed a sitcom in 25 years. So how could? But it was like, you don't forget how to direct. You know what I mean? It was like a thing where it's like, everybody wants the new thing. Everybody wants the new and the new and the new. But it was just a thing where it was like, no, like we promise you, she can kill it. And so Pat was like, you know what we gonna do? I said, well, she said we gonna backdoor these motherfuckers again, and we
jumped our black ass on the plane. I said, shut the fuck up. They was like, well, we got a whole list of directors. I said, well, you go ahead and keep typing. We flew to Atlanta. I don't listen to nobody. I believe in myself. I said, keep typing, motherfuckers. And I said, okay, send a list. I said, Jordan, get your motherfucking ass and meet me in Atlanta. We going to meet Debbie Allen. We walked up on that set. We talked to her. We left. Was like, oh, she got the job.
Wow.
Yeah, because she knew that I wanted to return to that old school vibe. Everybody does laugh tracks now. Everybody has a different way of writing now. But I wanted to go back to that old school vibe where it was like, you would shoot 2 shows. Like for that pilot, we shot 2 shows. We had 2 different audiences. We had a 4:00 show and a 7:00 show, and we edited it together. So that way you keep that speed. So you're not asking the audience to laugh at the same scene over and over and over again.
That's so smart.
It's like you just go straight through and you move. And she understood exactly what I was trying to do. It's like theater. It's like a repertory theater. And so like as soon it was like the three of us were just a trifecta. It was,
oh my God, she took me in her bed. She took me. We went to her house. Oh my God, she can fucking cook too. Lamb chop, Debbie, I love you. So she took me to her house and what she did, dance with Michael Jackson, showing them moves and shit. And she worked with my acting, and then she would just tell her stories, and she just really fucking helped me out so much. And that's another reason why I wanted her to direct it, because I felt like she knew what it was. You know, I'm young. I mean, I'm not young, but I'm a young actor.
Right.
And she just wrapped her fucking arms around me. She's like, I'm going to show you exactly what to fucking do. And boy, we had a 2 weeks rehearsal, and she rolled my ass. Because there was times I would leave that rehearsal and go to her fucking house and rehearse some more.
Wow.
And she wasn't even getting paid for that. But that was all because she cared.
I just have a hard time believing that someone would push back on her directing it.
Man,
That's
you'd
so
be
ridiculous.
surprised.
I'm not surprised, though. There's fucking executives.
It's executives that young people who eat fucking Brussels sprouts. Not the Brussels sprouts. What that little shit that look like little hay on your plate?
Quinoa?
No, I like quinoa.
What are you talking about?
Oh, the little Brussels something with the Brussels
bean sprouts.
Bean sprouts, them motherfuckers. Yeah, people who eat bean sprouts, and they eat bean sprouts with nothing on them, and they making the fucking decision. They're empty-minded motherfuckers. And you like, you could make you laugh if you got butt naked. And I was like. It's just stupid. So I was like, okay, it's y'all money, whatever you want to do.
The beautiful thing is, as the show becomes successful, and I believe it will become successful, you'll be able to do whatever the fuck you want to do.
I would pray and hope that they would listen a little bit more.
Listen.
You know, believe it. You know, trust me a little bit.
That's why I like shows like South Park's the best example. They don't even have to talk to Comedy Central anymore. They just deliver their episode.
Wow.
Yeah, they're like, shut the fuck up.
And
Shut the fuck up. Here it is.
Shut
up.
And when you're a young writer, that was another glitch we had, like the writing room. You know, you mess around and you hire people that don't get your show. Oh my God! And writers are the most sensitive motherfuckers I ever met in my life. We're comics, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't like something, Joe, you like, man, Pat, that shit ain't funny, right?
We talk shit to each other.
We talk shit to each other. So,
yeah.
But I didn't know that you couldn't bring that in the writing room. So I was like, dude, that shit ain't funny. Stop laughing at your motherfucking self.
Yes.
I was like, this shit is horrible. Who the fuck wrote this? You think I've been doing this shit 20 years and I got in trouble, but I'm like, I'm a fucking comic.
When you say in trouble, like what happens?
I
had to go out and get some. I had to get a life coach.
A life coach?
Yeah,
she helped the shit out of me.
You had to go get a life coach.
Yeah,
they told you to get a life coach.
I had to get a life coach.
Because the way you're communicating with the writers. That weren't funny.
Yeah. Because you don't supposed to say.
Why would anybody fuck with your chemistry, like who you are?
I don't know, but
but you know what it is? It has a lot to do with the fact that people see that we've never done this before,
and
so
they
don't listen. You know what I mean? It's people who have like been doing it for 30, 40 years. So when we come in and we're like, no, we want to do it like this, they're like, that's not how it works. But it's like, that's the point. We don't want to do how it works. We want to do the other thing.
Right.
And I think that for Pat, it was like she just wasn't used to having to like communicate in a way where you didn't piss people off. Like they're not used to that. They're used to people being like, oh, we love this, or oh, you know what I mean? But Pat would be like, that shit not funny, stop laughing.
Now what does a life coach tell you?
You can't tell people that shit ain't funny.
But that's the only way you get to the point.
Yeah, and then so I started using word like, can we try a little harder?
The problem is if someone's writing shit that's not funny and they think it's funny, they're probably not good.
Thank you. And then and I was saying that in the beginning. You suck.
Stop it. Stop.
You know,
I don't think they suck. I think that people have been trained to write a certain way in Hollywood. They write what's palatable. They write, the thing that gets them the check. The thing that
they
pays
didn't
their
care
bills.
about anything.
Yes. Right?
I cared about this.
Yes.
I cared about this. And I was like, if I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go down with my fucking mistakes.
Right.
Not nothing that I'll let you talk me into doing.
Right.
And that was the hard part. I'm like, this is the Miss Pat show. This is not your show. Well, you can't say those things. Well, I'm a comic. We tell each other all the time, that joke ain't funny. That shit, get the fuck out of here. You think I ain't heard that whack ass shit?
Well, not only that, comics will thank you because they know that you're right, and then they know they have to go either
Work
abandon
harder.
it or start from scratch.
Yeah, I mean, I had a joke in my shit, a board game board. I'm like, nigga, please.
Board game board? What?
Yeah, that been on every sitcom from the day sitcom was created.
I don't know what you're saying. What do you mean?
Me either.
I think she said like somebody was like, we're playing board games, we're so bored playing board games, like something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, like I had never heard that.
Mm.
I'm like, and then you would pick it out, and the people would get offended. I'm like, I'm not trying to throw any writers up on you. Do you? I just know this show was about me, and I used to tell them, bitch, you can't out funny me.
I think Jordan is right though. That if they're getting jobs, they're writing. They have like a standard way of doing it, and it's probably getting them gigs, and they're used to.
Right. So when you challenge that, they're like, "What are you doing?" Like,
right. Like, have you ever try to watch like what is that show? Big Bang Theory. You ever try to watch that show?
Shut up, Joe.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Try watching it. It's like they're writing it for aliens. But meanwhile, that show made a fucking $1 billion.
Somebody watching.
I don't understand it, but it was very popular.
Yeah.
It's for people who get home from work and they're on pills and they just stand there staring at it. And it tells them when to laugh.
Yeah, but I think that's why like people but that's why we wanted to do a different kind of sitcom because it's just it's such a if you watch sitcoms now it's just corny. It's just corny.
It's a formula.
And they press a laugh track and they're like we were in the middle of a pandemic, but I still wanted to fight for a live studio audience. I was like, how are we gonna know the joke is funny if we don't have real people laughing? Just because we think it's funny doesn't mean it actually lands.
100%.
You know what I mean? You have to try it out in front of an audience. Like we would do shoots. We would shoot the episode without an audience.
Stop hitting the fucking table. You don't pick up the mic.
Shoot the episode without an audience and then shoot the episode with the audience.
Yeah.
And we never used the footage without an audience because the energy was just different.
It's different.
It's just a different energy. So I would say like 95% of what you see when you watch the show is all live audience.
But especially with you. I mean,
I did learn a lot too.
I'm sure.
I learned the things you can't say to writers.
What is that experience like with a life coach? They sit in a room.
No, they on the phone. And
it's on the phone.
When you want to vent, you call that person, and they'll tell you how to go by. Instead of saying, motherfucker, I'll knock your goddamn head off.
So it wasn't even in person. They wanted you to do life coach over the phone.
We did it Zoom, but it helped
Jesus
so
Christ.
fucking much.
Really,
it really did help me.
She shifted. That was a big shift.
It was a big. It was corporate world. I wasn't used to corporate. Usually, if you talk about corporate, I'm stealing. But this time, I learned a lot. I really did. She calmed me the fuck down. I mean, she taught me how to breathe when I was upset. I mean, she taught me how to choose better words. Because I'm from the street. I'm ready to fight, motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. That's how I am.
Right.
But, and it just, it helped a lot. It really did.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, bitch, where you been? I've been needing you. I wouldn't have all you convicted fellas.
When we met, I told you, I was like, you should probably go to therapy. You were like, I ain't doing no goddamn therapy. Comedy, my therapy.
Yeah.
Well, if you keep going, then you'll be able to put together a writing room that like complements your style.
Right. That's the goal. That's the goal. Is you got to, because I felt like there was a lot of I felt like a lot of my energy was spent like just hovering almost, because I wanted to make sure that everything was just right, and I didn't want her to have to worry about it because she already got to learn the script. So I don't want her to have to worry about like, oh, the joke doesn't work, or oh, this story doesn't make sense, or so it was a lot of like trying to it was a lot of rewriting. Like both of us, she would call me at like 5 o'clock in the morning. We would get a script. She would call me at 5 o'clock in the morning crying, be like, I don't know what they doing.
It was just one
myself.
episode that made me cry. I said, I don't know what the fuck this writer wrote, but Joe, I was crying. I said, get the fuck up right now. This shit done drive my puss out. We about to die. The joke. I thought I was gonna die. It was hot flashing everything. I couldn't do it.
But it's like that's the best thing. Like they worked hard. Don't get us wrong. They worked hard. Like they worked hard.
Right.
But it just wasn't. It just didn't mesh. Like the way we tell stories and the way that they tell stories just didn't.
Some of them.
It just didn't. We had some really great writers. I'm gonna be honest with you. We rewrote the whole fucking season. Literally, there was not a strip that we did not touch, and we learned a lot about that.
I mean, from credits to everything else, we touched. That was not a night that when they turned in the strip, we didn't have to go back and fix.
12 episodes, a lot of writing.
But it makes sense with a new show too, because it's like, it's a new machine.
Yes.
So it's like we have to they did great. Like they're good. I don't want them to watch this and be like, no. They did great, but it was just a thing where we.
Some of the voices wasn't ringing all the way through because my daughter wrote on the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my youngest daughter wrote on the show.
Oh, wow.
That was her. What's the name of the episode?
The gender non-conforming.
That's my daughter's episode. Yeah. She wrote that. Even her episode, we had to go back and touch. So it wasn't about if they wasn't good enough. It was more about some of it I had to put more of my voice in it.
Yeah.
It wasn't ringing home true to who I was in some of the episodes. And we kind of got an understanding with the writing. Hey, we're gonna have to touch every strip because this is our project and nobody cares about it like we did.
Well, no one's gonna understand what you're trying to accomplish.